Hello, it's day 20. We're halfway through. How exciting. As I said yesterday, my mum's here for a few days to help me to do some packing and some organising. And I'm really excited because there's some clutter that I need to get rid of. And I'm really excited to get that sorted and to get our packing started. So that's really good. Now, I was thinking about this whole clutter thing because, you know, while we're detoxing our bodies and our minds and our emotions, you know, why not detox the house while we're at it? And I was thinking, when I was thinking this morning about what to talk to you about, I thought about something from this book. It's called The House That Cleans Itself. And it is, I don't know whether that shows up the right way around to you, because on my little screen it's actually back to front. So, okay, if it's wrong around, hey ho. But it's called The House That Cleans Itself by Mindy Starns Clark. Now, I'll put a link below for it. Now, it's interesting because most people, I bought the book when my toddler was in hospital. She was 6 months old and she had a fractured skull. Yes, whole story in itself. That was when we were moving last time. She actually got dropped down the stairs in the middle of us moving, so that was fun. But anyway, we were in hospital for a few days, and I have to say, I mean, you've seen her, you can see she's fine. She bounced well. But I downloaded the book on my phone, and I already sort of lived my life, my house. I set up my house very in a way that she suggests in the book. Anyway, but I just wanted some ideas more than anything, because I'm always on the scrounge for ideas of how to organise things better, to make things more efficient. But there was something she wrote in this book which was really quite revolutionary for me. And in it she talks about when you need to get rid of clutter, because I'm a bit of a hoarder, as my husband will testify. And I'm getting better and I'm getting rid of stuff, though I don't think he realises this. He will do. But she talks about, you see, one of the things they say to you is if you've not used it in 6 months or you don't absolutely love it, get rid of it. And I'm a quite creative person, and it doesn't really work like that. And for hoarders anyway, it doesn't really work very well like that, because you think, but I could use that, or I could make such and such from that. Or, you know, you can think of things to do that you'll be able to do with that thing, or you might want to use it someday. And it's really difficult on what they've always say before about, you know, it's like with clothes. They say turn all your clothes around, your hangers round, and then, you know, after 6 months or a year, if your hangers, when you've worn it, you put your hanger back on the other way around. So then you can see what you've worn and what you've not. And anything you've not worn, you get rid of. And again, it's really hard if you have a hoarding mentality to let things go sometimes, because you think, oh, but you know, I'll lose a bit of weight and then I'll be able to wear it and things. And she addresses that in this book, and she talks about things having, everything we have has a value, and it's a value of time. And I'm going to actually read from the book so that you can, because she can explain it far better than I can. And I recommend, if this is something, if you are a bit of a clutter bug, then this actually I think would probably be a very good book for you. I found it very liberating for me. So I recommend the book, and I'm going to read you a little excerpt. Okay. If you really want to get rid of clutter, in my opinion, the place to start is to understand and embrace this single truth. Every possession you have, from the tiniest button to the biggest piece of furniture, consumes a piece of your time. Think about it. You spend time on your stuff when you acquire it, when you clean it, when you move it, when you shove it in a box and put it in the basement, when you kick it out of the way because you stepped on it, when you leave it out and the kids mess with it, when you get it dirty and have to wash it, when you fish it out from under the bed, when you hold it in your hand and try to decide what to do with it, when you sort it again, when you store it again, when you decorate it with it, when you think about how much you love it, when you feel guilty about how much it cost, when you try it on and it no longer fits, when you dust it, and so on. Think of something completely unsubstantial in your home, such as a safety pin or an emery board. If you have ever interacted with that item, you have spent time on it merely because it is one of your possessions. The question to ask yourself about your stuff is, as you attempt to weed things out that are of no value, The question to ask yourself about your stuff as you attempt to weed things out are not value judgments, but when you use it, about when you used it last or when you might need it again, to clutter as there are too many shades of grey for those questions. Instead, face the black and white reality of the true trade-off you're making. When you are decluttering, with every single item you own, ask yourself these questions. 1. Is this item worth my time? 2. Does what I get from this item provide a fair trade-off, considering the time I have to spend cleaning and storing it? And 3. Do I want to spend another second in the future fooling with it, or do I want to get rid of it now so it will no longer cost me a single moment of time? Now, if you're not this way thinking, that's not going to make much difference to you, but this was revolutionary to me, because I was the sort of person that, you know, if I'm clearing out a drawer or something and I'll find some paper clips in the bottom, you know, or I'll be clearing up, say I'll be vacuuming the house and there's a paper clip on the floor, I'll pick it up and then I'll go and I'll find the tub with the paper clips and I'll put it in and close the drawer, and it takes a lot of time, especially if you're sorting out a big area with a lot of stuff. And after reading this, I then pick up this paper clip and I go, is it worth my time? No, shove it in the bin. You know, I've already got a dozen paper clips in the drawer anyway. You know, I don't need another one. And the emery board, again, that's just so easy. It's like, oh, you know, it's a bit tatty. Oh, that's fine, I've got new ones, you know. It's not worth the effort for me to put it away and stuff. Now, I know we live in a society where we just chuck stuff out all the time, and it's not always right to do that, but so much of our stuff takes up headspace. I mean, I had things like, I had some stuff I wanted to actually get ready to take to a baby sale. And I had it in the loft, and I was thinking about it for months and months and months. I needed to sort through it and label it so I could take it to the baby sale and make some money on it. But it was really stressing me out because I've got to find the time and I've got to do it. And then when you sell it, you end up coming home with half of it anyway. And I read something by the Fly Lady, if you've ever read her stuff, and she says, don't save things for garage sales, just get rid of it. She says, bless somebody else with it. And that's a real good principle, biblical principle anyway, because God says if you bless someone else, He's going to bless you back anyway. So I remember after reading something she'd written, and I just went and got these bags out of the loft and I just took them down to the charity shop and just gave these bags away. And I cannot tell you the stress that just lifted from my shoulders. My head was just so clear because all of a sudden one of the jobs on my ever-increasing to-do list suddenly had disappeared. And I was like, wow, you know, it was so liberating. And it's the same with what she says in this book. You know, everything we have has a value of time. If we've got to keep moving it or even thinking about it, it's taking up time. And you've got to, you know, sometimes you'll have projects planned that you want to do, and then sometimes you need to think, actually, is it really worth it? You know, yes, that dress needs sewing. You know, it's been sat there for 6 months waiting for you to get round to sewing it, and it's bothered you all this time. Is it really worth it? And like I said, I know we're in a society when we throw stuff away, but if you're in a position where you have too much on your plate anyway, sometimes you've just got to let some things go and just, you know, just give some things up, make some compromises, because by doing that it clears up other it clears your head and your ability for time, because you know, when we've got so much stuff, it takes so much time as well. Anyway, this is going on a bit long and a bit rambly, but I just thought today, I thought I'd encourage, as this is what's going through my head at the moment, because I'm getting ready to have another purge, I thought I would share it, because like I said, this book, for me, a lot of it was common sense and was stuff that I do anyway. A lot of it is stuff that a lot of people wouldn't think about, you know, of how to just make life much more streamlined, so that, you know, you don't have to spend so much time cleaning and doing things. So for a lot of people, it's a whole new concept anyway. But for me, I have to say that there was a few things she mentions in here that for me were really liberating. And that was one of those things. And now, whenever I've often, you know, if I'm tidying up and I'll have something, and very often if I don't know where to put it, I'll think, oh, what am I going to do with this? Or it's been kicking around for a while. And then I'll stop and I'll look at it and go, hold on, is this worth my time? Actually, it's not. Let's just throw it away. And then you're free of it. And if you're really desperate for something, most things we can actually live without. If we really need something, very often you can get it again from eBay for very little cost. And I mean, I say that, I know that's hard if you've not got much money. I understand. I have lived very, very frugal life in the past, which is one of the reasons I'm such a hoarder. But I've realised that actually clearing out and having that space to think just makes us so much happier. Anyway, I've waffled too long, I'm sorry. Get the book if, you know, if you're needing to do a bit of decluttering, or if you just need to streamline your life a little bit. If you're, you know, finding getting the housework done is just too hard, or doing things. Fly Lady is another site. You know, if you Google Fly Lady, her site will come up. She's got lots of really helpful tips of how to put routines into place, so that the idea is you do a little bit of cleaning each day. Nothing takes more than 15 minutes. Most things are between 2 and 10. And by doing those, you can keep your house clean. I probably ought to do a whole different section on the Fly Lady and what I learned through her and how I've adapted it for me. But anyway, get the book if you need a little bit of house detoxing. So, talk to you soon. Keep drinking your water and keep praising Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Bye-bye.